It's almost time. Arsenal is about to face another tough challenge in our preseason clash against Newcastle United. With the Premier League kickoff just around the corner, what can we learn from this clash? What's up, Gunners? Welcome to All About Arsenal. Just before I go into today's match preview, I'm still buzzing from the news of Victor Gyökeres finally being an Arsenal player. This was a long and protracted saga. Sporting CP made it very difficult for us, but we've gotten our man. I love the intro we used, although I prefer to hear some references to Bane, but I'm sure the fans have a lot of videos they're going to do around that. Switching gears to today's stuff, we have a clash against Newcastle United by 12:30 p.m. today in Singapore's National Stadium. The season is going to start next month, and both teams are still preparing for the competitive edge. So this game is going to give us a clear picture of where Arteta's side stands. So far, we've played only one game in preseason, which was the 1-0 win over AC Milan. Arsenal had 23 shots to Milan's 9 in that game. Arsenal ran the 7-time European champions ragged. It was like a stroll in the park for the Gunners. So the scoreline actually flattered AC Milan rather than Arsenal. There's many great chances we missed. AC Milan's goalies had a combined total of 9 saves in the match to show how intense Arsenal's attack was. However, there was a small injury scare for Gabriel Martinelli when Alexis Salenekers sighted him down with a very terrible tackle. In a normal competitive game, that would have certainly been a yellow card, but the ref was quite lenient, and that kind of affected Martinelli throughout the game, even though he was subbed for Trossard in halftime. The game also gave us a chance to see Max Dowman in action. That 15-year-old boy is such a gem, and he did so well. His penalty was also very brilliant as well. So going into this preseason game against Newcastle, Arsenal take some confidence from the last match they played that saw them beat AC Milan 1-0. Arsenal started with a very strong squad in that game, and I would expect the same in this game. Newcastle, on the other hand, has a position to forget so far. Their very first game was against Celtic, which ended 4-0 to Celtic. But what dominated the headlines in that game was the fact that Alexander Isak was left out of the squad amid the rumours that he wants to leave the club. Newcastle's stance has always been that he's not for sale, and at some point Liverpool came with an outrageous proposal for him, but Newcastle rejected it. There's also talk of Al Hilal linked with Isak, and at some point we've learned that Isak has reached out to the Newcastle hierarchy that he would like to explore a move this summer. So as it stands, with Isak frozen out of the side, William Osula is the only available striker that they could use, unless they want to play Anthony Gordon as a false 9. But another story is brewing with Yohan Wissa basically doing a Gyökeres on Brentford, saying that he doesn't want to train unless he goes to Newcastle. Obviously, Newcastle played an initial bid of 25 mil that was rejected, and an updated bid of 35 mil that was also rejected. Brentford is holding out for £50 million for Yohan Wissa, and it's going to be a very, very big challenge for Brentford, losing both Wissa, Mbeumo, and Thomas Frank in the same season. So to predicted lineups, I would expect to see David Raya in goal with Ben White as the right back. Calafiori will play alongside Saliba with Alexander Zinchenko as a left back. Arteta gave an update regarding Timber and Gabriel, who are still trying to come back from their surgeries and rehab. So this game might be too soon for them, I guess. You might probably have to wait till the game against Tottenham later this week to get a glimpse of them. In midfield, I think Mendy might actually start ahead of Noga this time, with Declan Rice in the left 8 position and Odegaard in the right 8 position. And of course, the attacking trio would be Havertz, flanked by Martinelli and Saka. I would expect Arteta to make wholesale changes in the second half as well, giving opportunities to everyone in the squad to keep a run out. As for Newcastle, I would expect to see Nick Pope in goal, and the back line would be Trippier, Botman, Shah, and Target. It's good to see Botman back in action. Last season was very horrible for him. He suffered a knee injury that kept him out for a very long time, and when he came, he had a lot of setbacks. So to see him play against Celtic was actually a good thing. Even Jamal Lascelles too had injury problems for Newcastle last season. Newcastle were ravaged by injuries seriously last season. So it's good to see their players return to action. In midfield, we'll see the captain Bruno Guimaraes playing alongside Sandro Tonali and former Arsenal guy Joe Willock. In attack, I would expect to see Ashley Barnes, Jacob Murphy, with William Osuna leading the line. At some point, we also get a glimpse of Newcastle's new signing, Anthony Elanga, who came from Nottingham Forest for £55 million. But this has been a very disappointing preseason for Newcastle. They had a bid for Joao Pedro rejected, they had a bid for Mbeumo rejected, they have bids for Wisa rejected. Like a couple of high-level targets that they actually went out for, they have missed out on most of them. And to make things worse, they're about to lose Isaac. Although losing Isaac would be like a big plus for them in the sense that they might be able to cash in as much as £150 million. So we have to keep our fingers crossed to see how that pans out. So what are we going to watch out for this time? To be more of the same for Arsenal, more control, seeing some of the lads take a good run out, seeing how they're going to respond after such a good game against AC Milan. I'm sure they want to build on it. That's what you would expect in a scenario like this. I would still like the likes of Max Darman to come on again in the second half to strut their stuff. Mali Salmon also had a very good game when he replaced William Saliba. And one important thing for me as well are those folks that were trying to market out, Zinchenko, Lokonga, Luis Nelson. I wanted to also get around and play some games so that at least they can play well enough for someone to get them out of the club, because the stands, their futures are still shaky. But I would expect to see Newcastle try to at least play for some pride. Losing 4-0 to Celtic was a terrible thing, but the mood around the camp will be very dark with the fact that Isaac, their main talisman, is about to leave. Yes, they are going to get a lot of money for him, but losing a player like Isaac is going to be monumental to the club's plans, especially with the fact that they are also in the Champions League. And when you think of the fact that they're not able to pull most of the signings they wanted to get, it's going to be a challenging season for Eddie Howe and his team. For predictions, preseason games are usually tough to call, but I think Arsenal will have enough in the tank to see out the threat of Newcastle. I'm predicting 3-1 for this game, and it's going to be a nice run out. Let's remember that this is going to be by 12:30 p.m. It's 7:30 in Singapore time, but here in Lagos, Nigeria, it's going to be 12:30. So please drop your predictions in the comments. Who are you most excited to watch in this game? And make sure you subscribe for post-match thoughts and full season previews right here on All About Arsenal. I'll see you after the game.